Hey, Riding Side Saddle, we're back.
It's Lisa.
And Tammy.
Here we are.
Yeah. In the recording studio, mid-ish season.
Kind of. It's about.
It might be a third. We're not really sure.
Right.
Season 6 might be a marathon.
Season 6 has taken a life of its own,
Yeah,
I feel like.
It has. This Wild Woman book is wild. Yeah, it's unpredictable in our scheduling, that's for sure.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it'll be fine. But we're going through chapter by chapter, Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkla Estes, and we're doing deep dives into each chapter. So even like our last chapter was chapter 4, and we thought it would be short because it was like 15 pages. Oh, we'll knock this recording out. No problem.
25 minutes.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. We'll be able to do a double recording that night.
Oh, for sure.
Fuck
Wrong.
no.
Wrong.
Didn't happen.
No, it didn't. So.
But that speaks to the level of this book too, right? Because it's not like we're just pulling out like, oh, well, we have to have 2 episodes on this one chapter for no reason.
No, we're not intentionally dragging it out. But it is making this season very long.
It is. I don't
think we're halfway. I don't.
That's probably a true assessment.
I think we should be halfway, but we've had two chapters, I think, that were 2 episodes each. So we're running a little behind. I don't know if we can shorten that up. We'll have to see if that happens or not.
About that.
Yeah,
we'll have to talk about that.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought that we don't want to completely abandon our normal format. We've gotten pretty far from it, so we thought we'd bring in our mid-season check-in anyway, even if it's more like a third season.
Well, and honestly, I needed a little extra time to read in the chapters.
Oh, that too.
Like I needed some space to be able to.
The next chapter is like 40 or 50 pages, and they're hard to read.
It's a doozy. Yeah. It is not something that you can just read 40 or 50 pages at one sitting.
No, it isn't.
We'll figure it out.
I know. We will.
Somebody said to me recently, Lisa, you always say this.
And it's true. But we always do figure it out.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
I think fine, like you use that word so much. It's either fine or it's fine.
It'll be fine. Fine.
It's so versatile for you.
It really is. It speaks to so many things in my life. You're right. It may be one of the most highly used words in my vocabulary.
It might be. Fine.
I do like those F words.
That's true. That is definitely true.
They just roll off your tongue. It's my favorite letter of the alphabet.
Clearly. I don't have a favorite letter, but you do.
It's fine.
It's F.
It is. It is.
Oh, funny. That's really funny. So what's happening in your world?
Oh, girl.
What do you got? Give me
really
something good.
Well, I'm sick again for the 837th time in 2024.
Yeah, that's not good.
These little babies.
Oh.
Man, they're snotty-nosed kids.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, and I can't help but go in for love, right? I just can't help it. Yeah,
and a Kleenex.
You have
with the Kleenex.
You have boogers, but I still love you so much.
Right.
So I feel like I've been trying to manage illness.
If not for you, for someone else, and then back to you.
100% all of this year. Yeah. Like it feels like it's back to back to back.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. We're fine. Everybody's fine.
It is. I'm a little congested today.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm continuing to manage through it.
You are.
So, I mean, obviously the babies are still hanging out with Nana and Bappa. It's been really interesting. So Deidre is, her intention is to move.
Get her own place again.
Yeah, within the next couple of weeks, actually. So Scott and I are going through this little bit of weird double-edged sword place.
Be nice to have a place back. But we're going to have our place back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. And I knew that I would grieve, right?
Sure.
Even when things were really hard at the beginning and we were figuring out our place and everybody was finding their groove and that there was probably a good month where that was not easy.
Transition is hard
for any of us.
Right.
Even the kids, it was hard
happening.
For Deidre. It was hard. For us, it was hard. But then we got into our groove and we figured out a rhythm and a routine.
Settled in.
Yeah. And I knew that when the time was that they were going to leave, that I would grieve. I'm a mama bear. Right. I am the picture of a mama bear.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when they are all here,
all in your little nest,
my heart is very joyful.
Right.
Is it hard? Yeah, it's hard. It's tiring. It's exhausting. There's a lot of people in the space. And I love it.
Right.
So I knew that I would grieve when it was time.
Mm-hmm.
And I am. I didn't anticipate that Scott would grieve as much as I feel like he is. He has, Scott did not have children of his own.
Right.
And when he came into our lives, Deidre was going to college and Lizzie was not a baby, right? She was older,
she
was in elementary school. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he missed a bit of this portion of life.
Early years.
Yes.
Yeah. The up all nights, the midnight feedings.
He still doesn't do those
he
parts.
Still missed that.
He's gladly sending that along. But the highlights, right? He has
those
very
sweet
much
faces.
So very much come to love. And seeing little kids smiling at you first thing in the morning and just
rushing
the joy
to you when you come home at night.
Yes, he has experienced a peace that he has not experienced in his lifetime yet.
That's so sweet.
So he's grieving a bit. We're happy. We're happy that Deidre's in a place where she's ready to step out and do her thing, right? She had a soft landing and now she's ready to move forward, which is exactly what the intention was.
Sure.
And then we're a little bit sad.
Yeah.
We're also a little bit happy. It's going to be nice to have our space and to turn on the television when we want to turn it on.
I know what's going on.
I am trying so hard to keep talking so that it drowns out that, how long can that motorcycle go past us?
No idea.
So long. It's finally gone.
Oh,
Apparently it just
needed it. It must have been on the next block, but it was loud.
It's 15 seconds in the limelight. It just got it.
I guess so.
Okay.
Anyway, to be warm in Wisconsin in February. People are doing all sorts of crazy things.
They have their motorcycles out.
I guess.
Anyway, so
back to Scott grieving.
Yeah. So right. So we're anticipating that, right? Everybody's still in place at home, but within the next couple of weeks, it's going to be time. So, it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It is. The main goal of every parent is to raise independent, productive members of society.
Yeah.
And so when you've done that and they leave your house, even if they need to come back for a period of time for a soft landing and get back on their feet and then they launch again.
Yes.
That is a good thing. That is a success.
Exactly.
Even if your mama heart hurts.
Exactly. And this is how this should be.
For sure.
So we're good. Scott even said recently over the weekend, he's like, I wish we just had a 6-bedroom house.
Oh.
So that we could have the space.
Everyone can just stay.
Yeah. Kind of. It surprised me.
But again,
it surprised me a little bit. But
you need for them to be independent.
That's right.
You can't always be there for them.
That's right. That separation is necessary.
Absolutely
and we'll all manage.
For sure.
We'll do it.
For sure. And then after a little while, when you settle into that new routine, it'll feel like, whew, so glad I got my space back.
That.
Right. And for Deidre too. She'll
Agree.
be thinking,
she'll get a rhythm.
So glad I've got my space back.
I don't have to work around them. Right.
I don't have to keep the kids quiet when
100%.
You know, I don't want to disturb people.
Right. 100%.
And there's a sense of wellness and accomplishment and, you know, for her own self.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
If she wants to sprint from the bathroom to the bedroom after her shower with no clothes on, she can do that. Right. Like, and that's not a thing in our household.
Can you.
Right. I mean, it's a little more dangerous on my side. Got to keep all the goods intact. I don't know what's going to happen. I still live with people. One of them who will chase right after me. So I gotta be a little bit more cautious.
I guess there is
right. And Liz does still live at home. She'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?
Put some dang clothes on already."
That is not something that I ever want to see.
Warn a girl before you're going to stray through the house.
Right. Like that conversation hasn't been had already.
Yeah, that happened to Josh one time. And he just doesn't do that anymore. He just doesn't do that anymore. No,
it's a little dangerous.
Yep.
It's a little dangerous.
Got caught with his pants down, so to speak, coming out of the bathroom after a shower. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
He didn't know any of the kids were home, and then there
they were.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, whoops.
Awkward.
Sorry.
Right.
Turn away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah. We took Malachi up north a couple of weeks ago, and it was just me and Scott and Malachi, and we had, well, first I was fucking exhausted after that. I do not know how many times
wore you out.
Oh my gosh. That child said "nana" more times in that
11
weekend
billion times
than I think he ever has in his whole 3 years. It was entirely exhausting, and my heart was entirely full. It was the cutest thing. Scott had a couple of things that he needed to get done. So Malachi brought his set of tools, and Scott saved things that they could do together. My heart fucking exploded on a number of occasions. Like watching that whole thing.
I love that.
I just, oh my gosh. Like if my ovaries had an ounce of
estrogen.
Oh
left.
my God. Like it was just.
If they weren't
pew, 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 pew. Right.
They got sparky a little bit.
Oh my goodness. It just really filled my whole entire heart. So that was fun. I'm not going to do that for a little while because I'm tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll do that again.
For sure.
That was very good.
That is pretty cool.
Liz is, she's, oh gosh, she's working on it. Like I think I said at one point in our year-end review, I really like things to be linear.
Yeah.
And I really like to see progress, like build on itself. And my own personal lesson with this is that she's making incredible progress. But it doesn't look sometimes the way I anticipate it.
Linear. Growth isn't linear.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. So that's a growth opportunity for me. She's growing and building and doing good things. And we just keep learning and moving along. So things are good. Things are good there.
That's really wonderful.
She one of the big things that's happening right now is she has her temps.
Mm-hmm.
So
for driving.
Yep, for driving. So we are practicing a lot.
Some places call that a learner's permit.
Learner's permit.
Mm-hmm.
Her temporary license she
right.
has. She's doing really good.
That's exciting too.
We had to get through a lot of fear up front.
Yeah.
And every time she tries something new, man, she is a fucking she bitches so much. And she yells at me like when she's doing new things. And I'm like, well, like, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got
Right.
it. And she knows that she has to do it.
She just, that's how she gets it out. Her anxiety. She's
yes.
got to
right.
literally get it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, she's doing really good. She's been on the highway, the freeway. She's been in town with stoplights. She, drives like a champ on the back roads now.
Yeah. Nice.
Like, I don't even have to, like, I feel confident with her as she's driving and I'm in the passenger seat.
Oh, that's a big deal.
That is a huge deal.
Yeah.
So she's proud of herself.
Yay.
I'm proud of her. She's doing really good with that. But yeah, we're just moving right along.
Very, very cool. I love it.
Yeah. I have a bit of additional personal stuff going on that I wasn't necessarily anticipating. So it's a really weird story about how I found out, but I actually am growing a very healthy fibroid.
I didn't know if you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, I am.
I'm glad you are, because it's riding side saddle and we talk about things that aren't talked about.
Yes.
And oftentimes it's things like that.
This is literally a huge
I'm glad
one.
you're talking about it.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, am I taking up a lot?
Not at all.
Okay. So, the funny part of the story is that I was at my brother-in-law's and sister-in-law's house celebrating Christmas. It was post-holidays.
Right.
And we just scheduled to have dinner and have some drinks and enjoy each other. And my Scott's brother, I was just having the best time. Really, really the best. And we were drinking wine, and Scott's brother continued to fill my glass, like, over and over. Like, it never, my wine glass never, ever got empty. Not even close.
An exceptional host.
I was just talking and
sipping and talking and
continuing. Yes. Until I was not in a good place. And
Lisa 4.0
I literally
came out.
had no idea. And my sweet, sweet husband, I'm shaking my head no. He knows when I'm headed towards the cliff.
Lisa 4.0 is coming out.
Every time he warns me.
Yeah.
Okay. But every time.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll have another.
That. Fill it up to the top.
You're not the boss of me.
Pretty much. That's exactly how it goes.
Okay, 4.0.
Great. And this, like every other time, ended poorly.
Right.
So poorly that the next day I was having really substantial pain.
Yeah.
Not hangover problems.
Pain.
Dude,
right.
I was like hugging the porcelain princess by like 7:00 that night. So by the next morning, I should have been pretty good because I had a whole night of sleep, right? Like after I was sick.
That was an early.
It was.
Howie.
It was not at
an
all
all-nighter. This was,
It was very
hard
early.
and fast.
Yes. That's the way she goes, Tam. Hard and fast.
Woo!
But I was having pain.
Yeah.
Weird pain. So that Monday I went to the doctor, and there had been a couple of things that were odd. And I had mentioned I had a pap smear in December, and I was like, I'm having some issues. Just some stuff going on, constipation, and
been having some back pain and some urinary pain.
Yes,
and
yes, I had been off and on, and it was just really, it was weird.
Right. Maybe it's a kidney stone.
So they had done some blood work. They had also set me up to have an x-ray, and I had a CT, and then they found a large fibroid. So it was kind of haphazard, honestly.
Right.
But I am thankful that
had you not been a drunken fool at your Christmas party,
seriously,
you might still not know.
I might not know. I would not know.
Right.
Honestly.
All that extra inflammation.
Likely. Yes. Yeah. So, this thing is considered large. And it is actually growing on the outside of my uterus as opposed to on the inside of my uterus. They call it, and I don't know if I'm ever saying this word right because I've only read it, but it's called subserosal. And that means that it's growing on the outside.
Okay.
So it is, in fact, impacting my digestive system. It's impacting my bladder. It's impacting my the nerves, like in my back and then down my
That's where all that
legs.
pain is coming from.
Yeah. So it's causing some havoc.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think, like you said, everything was very inflamed and agitated because of my ridiculousness. That it just brought it straight to the surface to
for
say,
sure.
you need to figure something
Well,
out
good
here.
thing you were a drunken fool then.
Good
I
thing.
guess.
Thanks for the free refills on the red wine.
Right. Way to go, Mike.
Right. So I've been figuring that out in the last couple of months.
That's a lot to manage.
It's
just that is a lot to manage.
Yeah, you know, it's been really interesting. I've gone through, well, thank goodness I know what's going on. And okay, so how can we resolve this problem to, like, this isn't really that big of a deal, to, oh, my real only option is a hysterectomy for me personally.
Right.
And how do I feel about that? And what does that mean for me? Like, there's been some grief around having to realize that is what's going to happen.
Right.
So in fact, I will be having a hysterectomy coming up at the beginning of April. So like last week, I spent half of our planning session in tears talking to you about it, talking to Tammy about it, sharing like my grief around losing what I have deduced as like a central part of being female. And I know that many women have gone through hysterectomies, and certainly there's a feminine aspect that doesn't go away just because your uterus is gone. And I logically get all of that, and I understand it. And I know that will be true for me too. But there is an aspect of grief for me. I do not grieve literally being on the last and final countdown of having periods.
Right.
Like I'm cool with that.
So there's the other edge of that sword, and it's pretty freaking great.
I'm down to like maybe 2 at most.
Right.
So that's okay. But there's definite grief around it's central.
Right.
It's central to what being female is. It's a creative center. It's, the place that my children were created.
Right.
And that's a little sad for me.
Right. Another motorcycle.
Jeez.
It's nice out tonight. I mean, I don't know how you feel, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth at all, but when you're describing this to me, what comes up for me is, when I decided not to have any more children.
Yeah.
Like, I grieved that portion of my life being over.
Yes.
And even though not having periods anymore is a good thing.
Yes.
And I didn't want any more children, those two things feel very much like I need to grieve that because that part of my life is over.
Yes.
And again, you're not planning to have more children, but
hell no.
Right. But it is still a very final decision.
Yes.
That part of my life is over.
Yes. And I actually after Liz was born, I had my tubes tied.
Right.
So 17 years ago, I already had made a medical decision that I was not going to have more children. And of course, I'm fucking 50. I'm a nunna, right? I'm not having more children.
The chances of you getting pregnant are slim to zero.
I would
and
be
negative
crying
numbers.
my eyes out if that happened.
Right.
So like that's not even 100% part of it, but it is very final.
And that's what I'm getting at.
It's very final.
Yes, right.
It feels like I'm losing a part of my feminine self.
Right.
So I'm working through that, and I'm doing okay. Like I'm working through it. The other part, like me specifically, I've had I've had some pretty invasive surgeries in my life.
Sure.
So
the last thing you wanted was another one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a big deal to me, probably as equal of a big deal as this femininity aspect that I just don't want my body cut into anymore.
Right.
So that's big.
That's a big one to wrap your head around too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way.
But it is in your best interest.
It cannot stay.
Right.
It is not going to resolve itself.
No.
And this is the best solution for me. Yeah. So, I mean,
even though it's the right thing, it doesn't make it easy.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So we'll just throw that on the top there.
Yeah, why not? A little icing, a little cherry.
Right. I could say a lot of gross things right now.
Don't.
Okay. I'll spare you.
Yeah, thanks. Oh gosh.
So, what's going on with you?
Nothing like that. Nothing at all like that. I was really sick at the end of last year, and I've had, a little sniffles, kind of like what you're describing, sore throat, feeling run down, just, not so great. But only, I think, like once. I haven't had it back to back to back. I feel like I had a nice little break where I was better, and then I had a week or so.
I can bring the babies over.
Yeah, that's all right. I think you're doing enough for me. Thank you for that. We'll see how I feel next week. If you've shared or not, as we sit in this tiny little recording studio.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll keep my breath on this side.
Right. So I haven't really, we haven't had too much of that sort of thing. Normal winter sort of illnesses floating around, I'd say. Yeah, I don't know that I've got really a whole lot going on. My dad turned 75 this year. That seemed like a giant deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a party for him. Well, my stepmom had a party for him. It was, she did a great job. 75. And when he was 54, I think, he was diagnosed with lymphoma.
Yeah. He
should not be here.
Right.
And I am unbelievably thankful that he is.
Right. Absolutely.
To make it to 75.
That is
It's huge.
It's huge, period, right? To be on this earth for 75 years.
For sure.
But specifically given his experience to get to this point.
Absolutely. Right. So that feels like a giant blessing. Yeah, otherwise I'm not really sure that I've got a whole lot to talk about, honestly. I'm trying to think here. Fixed my wheel. That's a big deal.
Your pottery wheel.
My pottery wheel. So I had ordered this part, the potentiometer, I think is how you say it.
That sounds fucking fancy.
I know, it does sound fancy.
It sounds like, what is your potential? Let's check on the potentiometer. Oh,
interesting.
Not very much potential there. Try again.
Interesting. It actually is the motor in the foot pedal.
Oh,
but whatever. Okay. Potential, I guess.
I liked mine better.
The wheel potentially can't go very fast if the potentiometer is broken.
Okay. I still like mine better.
So yeah, it's not quite a plug and play sort of thing. I thought it was. There's all these wires. You just connect, the white to the white and the red to the whatever and the black to the brown. And I thought then that was it, right? So when I YouTubed it to see how to fix this, it ends at there. Like you plug all these pieces in and you put the screws back in and then to be fair, it does end with, if you'd like to see how to adjust the potentiometer, go to our next video. It was like, adjust it? I don't need to adjust it. It looks like it sits just fine in here. I don't even know what a potentiometer does.
There is enough potential in this potentiometer for me to consider that this is a done deal.
It's brand freaking new. How much adjusting can you do? So
if you'd like to increase your potential, you should watch the next fucking video.
Yeah, I probably should have. So I get all these wires hooked up and my hands are wimpy. Like I just do not have a lot of hand strength. So when I was trying to pull the wires apart, excuse me, to get the old part out, it was hard. Like I had to really pull. So when I'm putting it back together, I'm not sure that I'm getting it all the way in because my hands are just not that strong. So I do what I think I'm supposed to do, and then I plug my wheel in and I turn it on and I hit the pedal and nothing happens.
Potential is low.
0. We've got negative potential on the potentiometer. So like, well, dang it. I unhook all the wires and I put them all back together again. Watched the video again. I did all of that. It should just be on. Well, the thing with the potentiometer is that the little motor, you have to spin it so that it gets into the right place for it to turn on. Oh. It's not a plug and play, really. There is some adjusting to do. So Josh had already gone to bed by this point, and well, I'll ask him to look at it. He's an electrician. Maybe he knows something about these small motors.
Right.
So the next day he came home from work and I said, so I did this to my wheel and it's not working. I think I didn't connect the wires right. Maybe you could take a look and get them connected. So we go downstairs where my studio is and he looks at it and he's like, it looks like you got it all together, right? And then he starts spinning this little wheel, which is the motor part. Yeah. And well, lo and behold, the wheel starts turning. Oh, so
increased
he starts
potential.
Yeah, right.
You can potentially make something now.
Potentially, because so there are gears on that little wheel that connect to these other gears in the foot pedal, and they have to match. Yeah. So that it turns when you step on when you push the pedal,
it has to go
to the back. Right.
Yeah.
But so when you push the pedal down, it stops, and when you push it up, it goes. Well, when he had it connected, it was, and the foot pedal was all the way down. It was not 2 more motorcycles. Golly. We're going to have to find a different, quieter spot for summer. I can see it already.
We'll make it work.
Anyway, when you push the pedal all the way backwards, the wheel should stop. And it wasn't. It was still turning a little bit. Okay. So it needed a little adjusting. And I even said, do you want me to play the video? Do you want me? He's like,
I mean, I didn't watch it, but you probably should.
And he, true to almost every man's form. I don't need to watch that video. Okay. So then after a little while, he got frustrated. He's like, I can't figure it out. And I have to make dinner. I've got, okay, that's fine. I can tinker around. Now that I know how it's supposed to work, right, I can watch the video and it will make sense to me. Right. So then it really was like 30 seconds and I had it done and
so better. It's working.
So now it's working.
That's awesome.
I know it is.
That
pretty
took
fun.
a bit.
I know. Well, in part because I ordered the part and it came and then I didn't do anything with it. Yeah. So as is true to all of these creative endeavors of mine, they're in fits and starts. Mm-hmm. So, I've got some time right now. I could do that. And then 6 months later, I've got some time. I could do that.
Where did I put that?
Yeah. Right.
Where'd all that potential go?
That. Yeah. So it has to build up for months and months at a time.
Fair.
Yeah. So that was a big happy day.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't know. What else do I got going on, Lisa? Is there anything else that volleyball's in full swing, so Sarah's really busy with that. Hudson is a year and almost a half.
He's cruising around, isn't he?
Year and a half. Oh, he's not just cruising. He's standing on things with wheels. Oh. And yeah. Right. It sends my heart into, palpitations. Uh-huh. And I just see Daredevil written all over his face. And he couldn't be happier than when he's standing on something that
seriously
moves.
These boys.
I know.
Like,
it's crazy.
It does not compute.
At me either. No. It's literally one of those little cars where you push with your feet. He stands on it and then has these big elaborate conversations where he's flapping his arms around and he's shaking his head yes and no. He's literally having a very complex conversation, but he's standing on this and his little tiny feet barely fit on the seat, and he can balance though. His gross motor skills are on fire.
I don't know what it is with these boys. Honestly, like, I obviously had 2 girls, right? So did you have 2 girls.
Yeah.
The number of jumps that happen in a regular day is astronomical.
I know.
Like, it just goes through your head like, he's gonna jump. Like, again, like off of things, right? Off of unstable things.
Yes.
He just jumps.
Right. Rocking chairs.
Like,
and
seriously, please stop doing that.
Right.
But no.
Right. No. It's fun. Yeah. So
It's nonstop.
He's really busy with that. Yeah. Keeping Emily on her toes for sure. Yeah.
That's
chasing the dogs around.
A continued adventure for her.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Yeah. So I don't know. Do I have anything else? I feel like I should have came with something.
I'm trying
nothing.
I'm trying to think of some other highlights, but I feel like
I don't really have a lot happening right now, and that's okay. So we bought this cottage up north at the end of last year. So we have been, I guess that's something new. I've not talked about that before. So we've been spending a lot of time.
It's exciting.
It for sure is exciting. Fixing things up and doing some renovations and painting and stuff. So between the shopping and the planning and the actual doing the work, and our time is limited. And my husband, God bless his soul.
Oh, here's a thing. The potential for this one is high.
The potentiometer spins around when I get talking about this.
The little motor gets in gear.
Oh, good grief. We have very different work styles. He gets up early, and when he gets up, he is up.
Yeah,
and
that's the way I am.
And he's off and running, and he would start making all sorts of noise, and does at 6 a.m.
Yep.
He doesn't need to ease into his day.
Yeah.
I do need to ease into my day. So he gets up early, and he wants to be done working by 2:00.
So you're like Scott.
Yeah.
Scott kind of takes his sweet ass time in the morning.
I need to wake up.
Like, it probably takes an hour for him to get out of bed.
Yeah, I'm probably pretty close to that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And then I need to have some coffee, and I need to ease into that, and I need some time. And then I can get going. So, but I'm more likely, like, I hit my stride in mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
And Josh is already shutting off.
He's done.
Right.
Well, he's tired out by then.
Right.
He's like on the early AM shift.
He is. I'm more of a second shifter, really. He's a first shifter. I'm more of a second shifter. So 2:00, I feel like, I've got energy. I can work. I've got loads of things I can do yet today.
My coffee is finally kicking.
That's it. It's only 2:00.
Some lunch.
I've got all kinds of things can get done yet today. And he's saying, so when are we done?
Right.
Think we could wrap this baby up? And
right.
I'm like, what do you mean wrap it up? I've got a lot of stuff I want to get done yet today. So I've gone a couple of weekends by myself so I can work at my own pace, and I'll work later into the night until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Josh would never consider working late at night.
Right.
So I might not get started till 10 o'clock the next morning, but I'll work much longer.
Sure.
We probably have the same amount of hours put in. They're just on opposite ends of the day.
Just think about if you were able to pass the baton.
Yeah.
How
it is
much
kind of like that.
Energy and time and work you'd actually get done.
It really is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we could do that, that'd be great if Josh were an introvert. But he's not. So when he's done, he's only done doing the work, and now he wants company to do fun things.
He wants the second shift to be
to
socializing.
Be fun, for sure. Right. And I'm still like, no, I don't want anybody coming over. We've got work to do. And by we, I mean me. You can be done, but I'm not done working. I want to get some more things done. Uh-huh. So this whole project has been an experiment in compatibility and
a social experiment.
Yeah, it has been. And letting, making room for each other and respecting each other's boundaries. And it's it has been really interesting. And, for instance, he was there last weekend. Well, he went there Friday with Cole to do some electrical stuff and put up a new range hood. And I thought they were going to do a couple of other things. They did put hardware on, we put new cabinets and put the hardware on the cabinets, and that looks great. But there were some other things that were on my list that I thought they were going to get done. And they were on his list too, but he had put asterisks next to 2, 3 things, 4 things on his list. And once those asterisks were checked off, then he was done.
Yep.
And they came home they were home Saturday morning by 10:30. So not only did I think I was going to get most of the day to myself, because I stayed home so they could go do that work. And Sarah was home. She had to work on Saturday. So I stayed home because it was our weekend with the kids. So she wouldn't be home all alone.
Sure.
And she could stay at her mom's, but anyway. So not only was my time alone cut short, but the things that were on my list didn't get done.
Right.
So when he calls me on his way home and tells me that they are in fact on their way home, and these are the things that didn't get done, I needed a minute to recalibrate.
Oh.
And Josh has this thing. He has so many rules about traveling. I've never met anybody like this before in my life. So if we are going to go somewhere, for instance, we always go to Door County for anniversary.
Yep.
And
because that's where you got engaged.
That's where we were engaged. Right.
Right.
So we always go Friday, and then we usually don't come back till Monday.
Uh-huh.
So we can't check in anywhere until after 4:00.
Right.
Right. Maybe 3:00 if you're lucky.
Right.
That
if
is
you get
standard.
an early check-in or whatever.
Yes. Right. So we live 2, 3, 4 hours away. I don't even know how many hours. It's a few hours away.
Yeah.
And we usually leave around noon or so. Stop somewhere along the way for lunch.
Yeah.
Take our time getting there. And by the time we get there, it's just about check-in. Right. Well, he will start at 7 a.m. Are you packed? Are you ready? When are you going to be ready to go? You should get ready. We have to go. We aren't leaving for 5 more hours. I don't have to be ready yet. Stop.
I have one
me.
eye open.
Right.
The other one is smashed into my pillow still.
Exactly. Don't start with me, Josh. You are setting this up to be a really crappy weekend.
Here we go.
Right.
Happy fucking anniversary.
Right. I thought
the potential for this weekend is plummeting.
The potentiometer is going to come in handy. I'll tell you that. So
let me just plug this thing on you.
Right.
Where does this thing go in?
Where's your white wire? Your red wire. Where is it? So initially I thought he's just anxious to start the weekend. He's so excited about this. He just can't wait to get there.
He loves me so much.
Yes, that's what I thought. He just wants to be on vacation with me. Well, then I realized he also does that when we come home, though. So it's not really that he wants to be on vacation with me. This is a travel problem for him. And it is anywhere we go.
Yeah.
If we go to your house, he also has rules about if we drive for more than an hour, we have to stay at least one day for every hour we drive there.
Yeah.
So if we come to your house, we have to spend the night. It's 50 minutes. It's not even a whole hour.
Right.
On occasion, I can get him to agree that, listen,
we just need to be home.
I need to be home.
Right.
Yeah, right. So.
But I do actually, I appreciate that part of his rules when you're coming to my house.
I do too, sometimes, but I'm just explaining his rules.
For sure.
Right?
I'm an exception.
Yes, you are the exception.
Thank you.
Always. If we go to his parents' house, right? We have to spend 2 or 3 days. And not that I mind being there for that amount of time. We don't see them very often.
But it's a rule.
It's his rule.
Right.
And Sunday morning, we get up and we get the heck out of there. There's if we want to hang out and have breakfast, he is pacing got to go. We got to go. We got to go.
It does make him very anxious.
It does.
Incredibly anxious.
For sure. And I thought, up until this weekend, I thought that was a Sunday thing because he really likes to have Sundays for relaxing so he can prepare for the week and
Mentally.
start Monday on a good foot, well
Yep.
rested. And then his week is like he sets himself up to have a good week that way. But when he came home first thing Saturday morning last weekend, I realized that this is a travel thing for him. This is I have to hurry up and get there. And I don't know if it's because he really does not like to be in the car. He doesn't like to travel at all. So there's a lot of anxiety around that. It's also a lot of just hurry up and get to the next thing.
Right.
Hurry up and get it done.
Right.
Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. He's a jackrabbit in that way, and I'm a turtle. Just, we'll get there. What's your hurry?
Right.
He already has started so this year, because we bought this cottage, we are going to Door County for our anniversary.
Yep.
We're going to go Friday, and then on Sunday, we're going to the cottage and then coming home on Monday.
Oh, nice.
And we had planned to meet, because we are planning to Airbnb this place when we're not using it, which means we need to hire people who can clean it and turn it over and things because it's too far for us to do that.
Right.
So we had scheduled a couple of interviews for Sunday, like actually maybe just one, and it's not until 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Door County and our cottage are a couple hours away, right? And we do have to make a stop along the way, pick up some things at Menards, and so we need a little bit of time, but we don't need 6 hours.
Right.
He's already
Calculating
yes.
what time we have to leave.
We are going to have to get up and leave right away. We got to get up and go. I'm like, I am not spending my anniversary weekend with you acting like this.
At Menards. For fuck's sake.
I don't even mind that, but not with this attitude. You better change that attitude, mister.
I'm going to be spending 4 hours looking at lumber.
Right. Well,
no.
they're doors, but still. And we maybe are going to have like an hour to shop. So here's the thing. We already did the shopping. We already know what we want to buy.
Oh.
We were waiting for the next 11% off sale.
Yeah.
And we bought a bunch of stuff at the last one. So we have a rebate check.
Yes,
so we had to wait for
use
that to come in.
Right.
And so like, we already know what we already know what we need. We just got to go there and buy it. Leaving at the crack of dawn. Josh. Damn it, Josh.
I was just going to say it. If you weren't, I was. Damn it, Josh.
Yeah. So this year will be 5 years, and it's always a learning process, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, I realize we haven't been married for 50 years. It's only 5, but it's still a learning process.
100%.
Yeah.
And to your point, especially when you add new things into the mix, right? With the person that you're
for
with,
sure.
You kind of think you have them figured out.
And
for
then
the
they
most
do
part,
something dumb like come home at 10:30 on a Saturday.
The fuck is going on with
You
you?
didn't finish my list.
So that's very interesting. And I think, Josh and Scott are not similar
at all
in most ways, except for the fact that they're men.
Right.
So it makes me wonder if this is a man thing because, well, first off, I love lists.
Yeah.
And I will create the best damn list.
Because you're a one.
Of all lists. And Scott makes lists too. But what's interesting is if my items oftentimes don't make his list.
Oh, he has his own list.
Right.
Yeah.
So he'll hear my items and listen to them, but he's determined inside of his head, like, what's the potential?
Oh, the potentiometer?
Beep, 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 beep,
broken.
Beep, 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 beep. Right. So we get into it sometimes to be like, so why is it that just things that are important to you end up getting prioritized?
Too. Yep. We have that conversation also.
Lord.
Right.
It's an annual thing for us,
Yeah.
honestly. It is like it is the mark of spring.
Oh.
We don't wait for
Gotta
the
have
first
a good row, do you?
We don't wait
or
for
row. Is it called a row? Gotta have a good row.
We don't wait for the first robin to come out.
Oh no.
It is like the first
giant argument
about what the fuck's going to happen this season. And is my shit going to get on your list?
What projects are we getting done?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. None of mine.
Oh, look at that. The leaves are sprouting.
Yeah.
We just had our argument, so that makes sense.
Spring must be here.
Tulips are here.
Oh, robins.
I know.
Yep.
Right.
Gang's all here.
They heard us. It's got to be a man thing.
That was your mating call for the season.
Yeah. No. Definitely the potential there is low. So yeah, it must be a man thing.
Maybe so.
Like, oh yeah, I hear you, but I'll tell you what's important.
Priorities.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have arguments about that too. Mm-hmm. Why do I have to ask over and over again or remind you over and over again? You said you would, and then you didn't, and you still haven't. And that was 6 months ago. Yeah.
Good times.
Right. Fine. I'll do it myself.
Fine.
I'll hire somebody.
That.
Mm-hmm.
That's more effective.
That's usually how it gets some sparking.
Yeah, because if I say I'll do it myself, he's like, cool. Go ahead and do that. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to do it myself.
That was supposed to make you do something.
No, it doesn't. It
Not
doesn't.
me do something.
That backfires real fast. Fine, I'll do it myself, and I'll be very pissed off about it. That might help.
Josh doesn't want me to be mad, so then he hurries up to do it.
Scott doesn't care until I'm actually mad.
Oh. He's rolling the dice. He's gonna hedge his bets.
Yeah.
And he's got a 50-50. Potentiometer says it's 100% chance she's gonna be mad. Well, let's see what happens.
You better just fucking do it.
Oh, Scott.
Oh, yeah. 10 years this year.
Oh,
so it's big.
Yeah,
it's big years for both of us.
For sure.
Man, I never imagined it.
You didn't, did
you?
you?
No. Every year I'm like,
really? We're still doing this?
God damn. That's a long time.
Look at us go.
No, I don't say it like that. I say, that's a long fucking time.
You're still here?
Kind of. I do say sometimes that I'm going to trade him in for a newer model. He doesn't like that as much.
No, I bet he doesn't. I had a Zoom meeting today, and Josh took the day off. He was watching TV, and I went in the living room and I said, "Listen, I'm going to need you to make yourself scarce while I have this meeting, because you can hear all of that, and it's going to make people think I'm just here watching TV all day, which is, not cool."
Right.
So,
and not the case.
Right. So you make yourself scarce. He said, "I don't know what that means." I said, "You have to be silent and invisible. That's what it means."
Get the fuck out of here.
I said, "So it's 11 o'clock. You've got until 2 o'clock to get the F out." And he said, "That wasn't very nice." I said, "Well, I'm just telling you, you've got 3 hours warning. Figure it out." And he said, "I feel like an orphan. Do you think anybody wants an extra fluffy middle-aged man? Will anybody take me?" I said, "You've got a nice personality. Someone will take you, Josh." No, really. Getting.
Right.
Yeah.
Scoot.
Right.
Scoot boot.
Right. You can't be sleeping in the chair snoring because, again, people can hear that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what if the cat starts meowing? Nobody cares about the cat. You have to be quiet.
You have to stop asking me questions right now because time's a ticking, sucker.
Right. I've given you ample warning.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boys.
Yep.
We have a saying about them. We're not going to say it.
We won't. We might offend some people. Hey, we've had new people. Where did we? So we did mention last time some new people, but we have new listeners.
Even more new ones.
What is the
Italy?
Yeah, we said that last time.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. What is
Switzerland?
Switzerland. Yeah. Welcome, Switzerland.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's real awesome. It's exciting.
For sure.
It's exciting when we see
I'm glad you found us.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad it did. Tell your friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, share, click all the buttons. Like, share.
That. Just like share.
Yeah.
All right.
So we better wrap this up. We are
Yes.
gabbing. We could keep on going because that's just how we are, but enough is enough
Right.
for one day.
It's done.
Yep. So Mind Garden Media
Yes, Todd.
is the place to be if you're looking to do a podcast. Todd does a fantastic job. We upload it. He works his magic and downloads it back. And and that's it.
It's not it. Right.
No,
but
from our
perspective, it
right.
is.
No,
right.
For every hour we talk, he's got 2 hours worth of work to do.
Right.
So,
so he says, wrap it up, bitches.
Right. How about we start cutting these to 30 minutes? I'm a little bit concerned that might be the conversation that we'll be having soon. So anyway, thank you, Todd, for all of your hard work. And if you really are considering even a podcast, you should reach out to Mind Garden Media.
Yep, give them a call.
Yep, for sure. They can point you in all sorts of good directions. They're on Facebook. So if you just search for Mind Garden Media there, you'll find them. And we also need to thank all of our listeners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As always.
Right.
Thank you for joining us and listening and going along for the ride.
Right.
As we keep rolling along here.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
All right.
In sickness and in health.
Amen
we're
to
still
that.
Working it.
Yep.
All right. So till next time, we'll be back with Running with the Wolves.
That's right.
Yeah.
Women who run with wolves.
Right.
All right. See you then.
Toodaloo.
Bye.